Hey, good morning out there in YouTube world. Hey guys, so I kind of wanted to make a quick video touching up on this whole Russia-Ukrainian thing. So I get on the comments and I see a lot of ignorance, mainly in the form of people saying, oh, you know, Vladimir Putin this, Vladimir Putin that, fuck that, da-da-da-da-da, and then people praying for the Ukraine. Okay, well, first of all, praying is about the worst thing you could ever do for anything. It does nothing. That's just my personal opinion. However, what it really boils down to is what Vladimir Putin wants. I don't think most of you comprehend the situation that he's in, so I'm going to clarify it for you, okay? If you got 20 years on me, you remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, all right? Because I wasn't alive for it. Bay of Pigs, all right? That's when the Russians put missiles in Cuba. And what do? We flipped the fuck out. Like, we almost started World War III right then and there, right? Okay, because we had Russian missiles 90 miles away from the U.S. mainland, okay? The same concept is what's happening in the Ukraine. You've got Ukraine right here, Russia here, Moscow's here, 90 fucking miles from Ukraine. The reason why Vladimir Putin is pulling this maneuver is because in 1989, when the Soviet Union began its collapse, one of the agreed upon measures of this whole treaty was that NATO would not expand, okay? And since then, it has expanded into 6 different former Baltic states. And now it's trying to expand into the Ukraine. Do you see the dilemma that Vladimir Putin is in? Do you understand why he's worried, why he's upset? It's because he's got fucking missiles ringing his fucking country. Pull up a map, okay? Look at Russia. Look at the fucking western part of Russia, okay? We have the U.S., we got Alaska there, and the United States of America, submarines and bombs and missiles, right? He's got the Pacific area there, but we still have submarines, bombs, and missiles. Go to the fucking west side of Europe, okay? The eastern part of Russia. And you'll see that he is literally surrounded by NATO. From Poland all the way down to Turkey, he is surrounded by NATO. He simply does not want to be fucking surrounded and caught up in a net anymore. So he's making his move, as we would do too, to try to stop the expansion of NATO from surrounding his country with missiles and U.S. weaponry. Does that make sense? Do you kind of get what I'm saying now? Why Vladimir Putin is upset and why you're kind of stupid to fucking take the sides of the Ukrainian? Because you're just being fed a bunch of bullshit. All right, you're being fed so much propaganda via the U.S. media. See, they went from COVID scaring you. Now the whole big thing is World War III potentially happening. Vladimir Putin will probably make his move. He probably will take the Ukraine, which is why we don't actually have any equipment or troops in the Ukraine. We don't want to lose them. Okay? But you have to realize, you can't deny it. I mean, only a stupid person would deny it. Wow, I need a new liner, don't I? Only a stupid person would deny the fact that if we, the United States, suddenly found ourselves, if Vladimir Putin fucking put bombers and missiles in Cuba, Vladimir Putin put fucking bombers and missiles in Venezuela, he had fucking task force fucking cruising around in the Caribbean, okay? And he had submarines fucking going up and down each coast, which he already does. The additions of more missiles and weapons in Cuba and Venezuela would set us on edge because they're in our fucking backyard, which is the same exact position Putin's in. A lot of people forget that we're all human. We all fucking worry. We all have our fucking concerns. And one of the concerns about Vladimir Putin is the expansion of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. And infringing, and which he has infringed on ex-Baltic countries. Ex-Soviet, ex-Russian countries are now members of NATO. That's what he's upset about. He's tired of being ringed by NATO missiles and U.S. missiles. Do you understand now? It's real easy. It's just like us. Go study the fucking Bay of Pigs, the Cuban Missile Crisis. And then you'll have a beginning of an understanding, hopefully, of why Vladimir Putin is upset and why he's, bulking up troops right there in Donbass region to apparently invade the Ukraine. If we don't say that we will concede to that, like that Ukraine will never be part of NATO, we can guarantee that there's going to be a land battle. Okay, because he's done. He's done. I'm half Russian, man. So like I feel I'm all American, but I'm half Russian. So I understand the Russian mind of thinking. My dad's Russian, dude. I have to deal with that shit every day. So what he's thinking, he just doesn't like to be ringed in by fucking enemy troops and enemy missiles. I mean, it's right there. I mean, they're the enemy. Like, whether you like to think that he's the enemy or we're the enemy, or regardless, we are the enemy. NATO is the enemy of Russia. Traditionally has been the enemy of fucking Russia. So the fact that we have him surrounded by U.S. and NATO weaponry, wouldn't you be upset too if Chinese suddenly started fucking moving shit in? Like, you know, if they came down and got a bunch of Caribbean states and started putting Chinese fucking warships and Chinese airplanes and missiles down in the Caribbean. Let's just say that they struck a deal up with Haiti or something. You know, hey, we'll come in and we'll bring you billions of dollars in infrastructure, billions of dollars in things, and we'll fix up Haiti, but we want a military access. Haiti would do it. You know, they'd be fools not to, right? Right. So that being said, you know, you should go research some history and see how we've reacted in these similar positions and seen how far we took it to the point when these similar situations were presented to us on our end, on the receiving end of the missile. And then maybe you'll think twice about the stupid comments that you're making. Anyway,